in our midst our principal, Ma'am Josette Devora, together with the representative from Division of Negros Occidental, Mr. Severino O. Abela Jr., and with our keynote speaker, Mr. Nonito S. Cabrera Jr.
As a sign of respect to our beloved country and creator, please stand for the singing of the Bombas of Awi to be led by the NOH's brass band. The invocation, the singing of the original hymn, Negros hymn, and division hymn to be led by the special program for the arts, vocal music. Please face the Philippine flag. Kindly face the Philippine flag.
Thank you, NOHS Brass Band and SPA Vocal Music. Please be seated. To welcome us all, let us listen to Mary Chris C. Castro for the welcome remarks. Let's give her a round of applause, please.
Oh, ma'am. First stand pa ito ka. Nganta lang isa ka tragpan.
To our dear principal, Ma'am Josette S. Torora. To our assistant principal for junior high school academics, Ma'am Milagros O. Abanales. To our assistant principal for senior high school academics, Ma'am Donna Belia O. Apusaga, to our Assistant Principal for Operations, Sir Jesus Chavez, to the DEPA Representative, Sir Severano O. Abelay Jr., to our guest speaker, Sir Noneto S. Cabrero Jr., to all the department heads, our beloved teachers, parents, guests, fellow graduates, a very heartwarming afternoon to all of you. 2 years ago, we stepped into a whole new chapter in our lives as senior high school students. Uncertain of what lies ahead of us, what trials and challenges await us. It was even harder since we spent our senior high school years during the pandemic. Undeniably, distance learning was very challenging. However, this new type of learning has made us to become more mature and independent. Despite the unforgettable struggles and adjustments, we have learned to survive and to strive for more to reach our dreams. It is but proper, therefore, to recognize the efforts of everyone who in one way or another has contributed to our success. Hence, this day is a great day to celebrate and enjoy as we reap the fruits of our labor. On behalf of the graduating batch 2021-2022, I am grateful to all the teachers who took an extra mile to reach all of us despite the restrictions brought by the pandemic. It is an honor to be welcoming each one of you on this momentous occasion in our lives. Good afternoon once again, and may the good Lord bless us all.
Thank you, Mary Chris. At this juncture, may I call on our beloved school principal, Ma'am Gisette S. Terora, together with our assistant principals, Mr. Jesus D. Chavez, Assistant Principal for Operations and Learner Support, Ma'am Milagros O. Abanalas, Assistant Principal, Junior High School Academics, and Ma'am Donna Belia O. Apusaga, Assistant Principal, Senior High School Academics, for the recommendation for approval of graduation, and Mr. Severino O. Abelay Jr., TLE Education Program Supervisor, Division of Negros Occidental.
Umabot na, sir. Okay lang, sir.
Our Schools Division Superintendent, Ma'am Marcel D. Satalucas Celsus Mix, Division of Negros Occidental, duly represented by Mr. Severino Abilay Jr., Education Program Supervisor for TLE. I have the honor to present to you the candidates for graduation for school year 2021-2022 of Negros Occidental High School under the following strands. For the academic, accountancy, business, and management, or ABM, there are 65 male and 229 female, a total of 294. For the technical, vocational, and livelihood strand, under the following PL, we have automotive servicing, there are 80 male and 9 female. Contact center services, there are 6 male and 13 female, a total of 19. For computer system servicing, there are 65 male and 31 female, for a total of 96. And for the cookery, food and beverage services, bread and pastry production, there are 26 male and 77 female, a total of 103, with a grand total of 601 candidates for graduation. I hereby certify that they have satisfactorily completed all the requirements of the K-12 basic education curriculum prescribed by the Department of Education. May I therefore request you to confirm their graduation.
By the authority vested in me by the school's division superintendent, Marcet Dayat Sabaloka, CISO 6 of the Department of Education, Division of Negros Occidental, was been authorized by the Deputy Secretary, Honorable Leonor Magpolis Briones, through the Regional Director of Region 6, Western Visayas, Dr. Ramerby Oitito, Season 3, to confirm the graduation of students upon the recommendation of the teaching staff headed by Joseph S. Tirora, PhD, together with their assistant principals, Ma'am Dona Belia Abusaga, in charge of Senior High School Department, Ma'am Milagros O. Abanalis, in charge of Junior High School Department, and Mr. Jesus V. Chavez for school operation. Having satisfactorily completed the requirements of the following offering for the senior high school K-12. Again, accounting, business and management, known as EVM, of whom there are 65 males and 229 females, a total of 294 grade 12 EVM students. And technology, vocational livelihood as part of my department, or TVL, CHUA. Again, automotive, 80 are males, 9 are females, a total of 89. Contact center services, known as CCS, 65 are males, 31 are females, a total of 96. For the home economics, company counseling, males, 26, female, 77, a total of 103. Of the senior high school program under the K-12 basic education curriculum, I hereby confirm and approve the graduation of 601 students of Negros Occidental High School for the school year 2021-2022. As such, they are now considered graduates and are entitled to receive a diploma or a certificate of graduation with all the rights and privileges appertaining thereto. Congratulations, my dear graduates.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's give a resounding round of applause to our graduates of Batch 2022. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Sir Abelay, Ma'am Terora, and our assistant principals. At this moment, to introduce to us our esteemed guest speaker, may I call on the head teacher 5 of the English department, Ma'am Maria Elna Z. Reyes.
To the honorable members of the Department of Education, Negros Occidental Community, headed by our school's division superintendent, Ma'am Marcet D. Sabaloka, who is represented today by Mr. Severino O. Abinay, our education program supervisor for TLE. To the whole Negros Occidental High School family, headed by our dear principal, Ma'am Josette S. Tirora, together with her assistant principals, Ma'am Donabella O. Abusaga, Ma'am Milagros O. Abanales, and Sir Jesus V. Chavez. To the members of the Negros Occidental High School Management Committee, to the non-teaching staff, to all the Negros Occidental High School members, to our very supportive stakeholders, headed by Attorney Arnel L. Apore, the President of Negros Occidental High School Alumni Associations Incorporated, to our GPTA President, Mr. Rodrick J. Magbanwa Jr., to the very loving and supportive parents and relatives of the graduating class of 2022, this institution who will reap the rewards of their endeavors this afternoon. Maayong hapon. We are very fortunate. Yesterday, we opened the celebration of our 120th foundation anniversary. And we also bring home an illustrious alumnus of batch 2008 to join us in our graduation ceremony. He can be described by so many adjectives I have encountered in my almost 3 decades as an English teacher. But looking back at those years when he was my student, 3 words stood out in my mind and in my heart. Opinionated, empathetic, and talkative. Oh, probably you are thinking, that these are not impressive at all. Maybe you are right. But you know, personally, for teachers like us, he was one student that makes a teacher's life exciting, meaningful, and challenging. Who would that be challenged when the moment he opened his mouth, he would convince you with his insight. He would do everything just to make you agree with him. Indeed, a day would never pass by without him expressing what's inside that lovely brain of his and what's inside that beautiful heart he has. You see, he talked a lot about events that he was concerned about, and he was so animated, passionate, and full of empathy that you could see his eyes shining. His facial expressions and his bodily gestures trying to convince you as he put his message across. It is no wonder that he has chosen to serve as the Department of Foreign Affairs as Foreign Service Officer 4. Do you know what he is doing right now? He currently addresses all communications for the President. Whenever there is a meeting by one nation leader with our President, he has a private interview. Undoubtedly, he has empathy for people, and he wanted to understand things by knowing more about their environment. That's why he spent his college years at the La Salle College of St. Denis, where he started his vocation, and he took a Bachelor of Arts, major in Consular and Diplomatic Affairs. Amazing, right? He broadened this knowledge by taking his Master of International Studies, major in Political Science, complete in Asian Studies at the University of the Philippines. His research interest embodied the intersections of foreign policy and soft power, intercultural exchange, gender and politics, the LGBTQIA+, environmental protection, and climate change. After which, he went back to the La Salle College of St. Denis to teach politics and governance, ASEAN studies, reading and historiography, and diplomatic correspondences. Of course, these accomplishments did not happen overnight. Our speaker today was also once a student like you, but sometimes nice, oftentimes naughty, always playful, childish, but always jolly. He was also an achiever. He has been an achiever, and will always be an achiever. Just like his father, the late Nonito Cabrera Sr., who had been a pillar in this institution when he was serving as the Deputy President. Our graduation speaker is also a true son of Negros Occidental High School. During his stay in this institution, he gave his share to the trove of merits for our school. For your information, he was a repeater. Yes, he was. But he was one repeater that Negros Occidental High School is very proud of. Together, he was chosen together with one alumna, Jean-Marie Baldan, as an exchange student to the United States. When he came back a year later, he needed to reestablish his Philippine education. Lest he forget he was a Filipino, because by then he speaks slang. And can you imagine what happened offenses, three adjectives I described. Of course, it ripened intensely. Life has become more challenging to me, especially that I was his advisor. I was an advisor of the school paper, and he was my news editor. Every day he would talk to me, he would speak about his opinion, and at times, he ran about the book. There's also what I am very proud to tell you that he brought me to South Cotabato when he won first place in news writing during this regional schools press conference. And then later on, we brought home together the third prize trophy when we won third place in news writing during the National Schools Press Conference. This was one of the best moments of my life, not only as an advisor, but also as a mother. Let me tell you one anecdote. I will tell this very quickly because I know it will help. It was an afternoon. We were getting ready to go home here at Negros. After a week in South Cotabato, we were running out of budget. We did not have money anymore. But still, we would like to buy pasalubong for friends and relatives. I was counting. He saw me counting my money. And then I was shaking my head. He approached me and told me, "Mom, let me buy the presents for you. Can you give me the money that you have there?" I was skeptical. I doubt it. Okay, but then, actually I was very doubtful. How could he do that? How could he buy the mallows that I would like to bring home to Mama or to Mama Banale? But he said, okay, sige nung Mama. Okay, I will come back. I will bring you your present. A few minutes later, he came back with a huge grin on his face. And he told me, and he handed me 12 beautiful colored mallows. I was wondering, where did he get the money? How was he able to convince the seller to give him the mallow for 16 pesos a piece? Because before that, when we were roaming around together with Mama Narita Barislaon, the advisor of the Anganina, the mallow was being sold for 35 pesos. Until now, I did not know what he told the seller. I will ask him later. Actually, I did not answer him, and probably he thought I did not appreciate his effort. I did not say anything because, and probably he does not also know the reason for this. But this afternoon, I will tell him, in front of all of you, sir, little did you know that I was speechless because my heart swelled with happiness for your attitude. Right there and then, you were able to accomplish what many other students have failed to do. You warmed your way into another's heart. Thank you very much. Don't get me wrong, he did not spend his own money for me. I believe he had none then when he had like that. It was his desire to make me happy in his own simple way that really touched me. When this empathy had grown wider like ripples in the water, in November 2021, we published, along with his fellow writers through the Foreign Service Institute, a review of the Philippines Humanitarian Mechanism and the Department of Foreign Affairs role in facilitating humanitarian assistance. In the same year, he filled his cornucopia of service by attending training seminars such as the Foreign Service Cadetship course conducted by the FSI, Carlos P. Romulo School of Diplomacy, the Foreign Service Officer course on counterterrorism, and the virtual short course on the Law of the Sea Convention hosted by ANCOR, for the Australian National Centre for Ocean Resources and Security, held at the University of Wollongong, NSW, Australia, Department of Foreign Affairs. He loves languages, maybe because he loves studying relationships and affairs among nations. He is already on the intermediate level in Spanish and French languages. Currently, he is studying Hindi, Urdu, Bahasa, Indonesian, and Russian languages. Prior to joining joining the Department of Foreign Affairs, he held roles in various industries, including travel and tourism, education, technology, marketing, and customer service. He's wonderful. What makes him more impressive is that his Facebook posts and photos do not attach these numerous accolades to his name, but rather paint a picture of a person who remains humble and grounded despite his achievements. He is simple, still jolly, warm-hearted, and down-to-earth. The same person that he was when he was here in Negros Occidental High School. If you are friends honestly there, you can tell others that he loves Adobe Photoshop, Pag-anta, tour organizing, travel, cooking, baking, and most of all, coffee. And now, guests, friends, teachers, parents, young achievers, I am happy, I am privileged, I am honored, and most proud to be welcoming on stage my son, the reflector, the man of the hour, the principal assistant in the Office of Middle East and African Affairs, Division 1, the Israel, Palestine, and Jordan desk, our very own alumnus who touches lives, and your graduation speaker, Mr. Nohs S. Cabrera Jr. Let's give him a round.
All of these introductions make me sound larger than life. So before I start, I just really want to thank si Ma'am Reyes, one of my favorite teachers. Of course, everybody is my favorite teacher. I'm going to say that. You may take your seat. Thank you very much. I am happy sa kanan. Mrs. Gisette Delora, Principal 4, the administration, faculty, staff, and personnel, to the parents, families, and friends of our graduates, our esteemed guests, and to the Negros Occidental High School graduating class of 2022, good afternoon. It seems like it was only yesterday I was here in front of a graduating class. Everything seems so familiar right now, and I think I have deja vu. You know, that strange feeling that this has happened before. Of course, I'm only joking because the truth is I was here yesterday to give a speech to the UMS and STEM classes who graduated a day ahead of you. Actually, after the ceremony, I slept here. Upod sa mga morto, pag sa mga kalamdil kayang balila, diba sa mga NOHS do cementerio. Cementerio, di ko no NOHS. But yeah, actually, in fact, I'm wearing the same exact clothes as yesterday. So ako nag-iis, kaya hambali na mas speech ng kugyapon ko nung pagkabuas na. But of course I joke again. I feel like I need to put jokes into my speech so that you will pay attention to me and the advice that I am responsible for giving you today. According to the assignment given to me by our teachers. You see, I graduated from NOHS 14 years ago in 2008, and until now, our teachers are still giving me assignments. So before we move on, I would like for us to understand the theme of today's closing exercises. Please indulge me and read the theme that you see on your programs or the backdrop behind me. Or please repeat after me, dreams. Can I say that again? Dreams? Very good. Adversity. Okay. Resilience. Please remember those words because they will be central to the ideas that I will share with you today. Yesterday, I told the first batch of graduating class about how important it is to dream. I told them that in order to succeed in life, they must first think about what it is that they want to do and set their mind to it. Then, I challenged them to remain strong in the face of adversity. The world around us will always have problems, I said, but it is up to us whether we would allow these problems to affect us. Lastly, I shared with them that resilience is an important trait, especially in this current climate of uncertainty, change, and despair. Well, there are so many things that I remember from my stay here as a student in NOHS. For instance, I remember clearly all the fun that I had with my classmates and my best friends. I remember all of the fun activities that we had, and they truly made student life here in NOHS a colorful and fun one. But needless to say, your experiences here as students would have resembled my memories of our dear Negros Occidental High School. However, as you may know, you were faced with a period of intense adversity. The pandemic that tore through the world as you neared the completion of your senior high school life was more than just an inconvenient anticlimax to years of hard work. It was a test of your endurance, your resolve, and your determination to do your work and to do your work with excellence. You are here today because you're finally at the finish line. Think about it. Look at you. You're wearing your school uniform for the very last time as students. Later today, you will sing the alma mater song for the last time as a student. You will walk out of here as official and full-fledged alumni of this high school. And I must say, congratulations and well done, because you get to do this face-to-face. I was told that this class was unfortunate to not have a moving up ceremony. Is that correct? When you guys were in 10th grade and you were about to advance to 11th grade, you didn't have a moving up ceremony, and I think that's really sad. So I'm very happy that you are here this afternoon, that you get to do this face-to-face with your friends to mark this momentous occasion with the people that you have spent the entire high school life with here in NOHS. So I'm extremely happy to address you today in the flesh, and for that I wanted to compose an entirely different speech. So unlike the clothes that I'm wearing today, this speech is not recycled. Yesterday, before I gave my speech, Miss Ana Batislaon, who was my teacher when I went here, introduced me and told everyone the story of what it was like for her to have me as a student. And apart from the embarrassing anecdotes that she related about me and the crazy things that I did in the past, one thing stood out to me that really warmed my heart. She said that ever since I was in high school, I have shown signs of being unconventional. Can we say that word together, please? Unconventional. Oh God, I hope that doesn't rain again like it did yesterday. It seems like when I'm up here, the rain clouds are coming, so let's make this really fast then. Being unconventional means that you are a bit different from others. Back in the day, we had a special science class for what they call the STAR section. Most of you who are now in the K-12 system are probably too young, or were probably very little children when we had the STAR section. It just means that at that time, you were at the very top percentile of the school student body population. It was the section where the greatest minds of the school usually were. And I say usually because even then there were also very intelligent and tremendously talented students in other sections. So we didn't have the monopoly in intelligence. Although Mr. Rola could almost agree that we sometimes acted like we did, right? I was in a class with very intelligent classmates who were literal math and science geniuses. Those who had true prospects at being scientists and mathematicians, etc. Meanwhile, all I was ever good at was speaking and writing. I have always found communicating somewhat easy. It was a skill that I had learned early on, and I am glad that it was here in NOHS, where I was really able to refine my craft. I was mentored by our terrific teachers. I participated in various writing contests, and the culmination of my campus journalism career was my triumph in the National Schools Press Conference, NSPC, news writing category. I represented NOHS and Region 6 at Nationals in Coronadal, South Cotabato, and I'm sure you're not familiar with this story. It's only been told twice in the 2 days that I was here. Now that I have always felt inferior, I've always felt inferior compared to my classmates who excelled at math and sciences, and this has wrought in me long-term insecurity. Society does that to you. The world does that to you. You tend to look at others and then to yourself with a critical eye. You start questioning your haves and have-nots, and you start to give yourself permission to feel bad about your limitations. After all, they say comparison is the thief of joy. Let me say that again. Comparison is the thief. Magnanakaw, right? Comparison is the thief of joy. That one of our dear teachers recognized my limitations as something that was a strength, after all, is a dose of perspective that I wish I had 14 years ago when I was questioning myself and was feeling out of place in this school. Actually, I think they were saying it all along. I was just too lost in my own insecurity that I failed to notice them cheering me on all the time. At this point, I'm going to stop talking about myself because this speech is not about me. It is about you. Today's graduating class, I believe, is composed of ABM. Where are the ABM guys? Can I see? Very good. And the TVL strand. Hello? I stand in front of the graduates today humbled because I see in front of me the pillars of our economy, the future of nature building, and the core of the productive sector that is at the forefront of change and advancement for our country. But let's be real here for 1 second. Graduating class of 2022, let me do a quick survey. Raise your hand if you have been told that the TVL or ABM strand is less glamorous or prestigious than the other strands. Nobody? Well, that fell flat on its face. Let's try again. Raise your hand if at some point you were laughed at or even ridiculed because they say that those people who want to go into technical and vocational education are the people who are not smart. Maybe. We see some people in the back. Raise your hand if you have been told that there is no future in TVL or ABM. Another person in the back. I guess we have a few. And raise your hand if you yourself at some point have said, ay, TVL lang ko or ABM lang ko. Of course, we see some people. This stigma and misconception stems from the notion that someone who does not attend a 4-year university or college program is looked down upon, with individuals taking vocational courses being perceived as less intelligent. What's good come on that, guys? Definitely not, right? They say that people who are taking, and I didn't say this, right? There are surveys, there are studies that show that a lot of people have this belief, which is really unfortunate, because meanwhile, in other countries, vocational and technical trade schools are considered to be prestigious. Countries like Norway and the rest of Scandinavia, Germany and Australia focus on technical, vocational, and entrepreneurship programs. Graduates of these programs are well respected and even paid a lot in these countries. However, a good number of people, especially in the Philippines, do not have an understanding of the opportunities presented by exposure in technical education and business. Thus, people tend to look down on students in TVL or ABM programs, and more importantly, they overlook their achievements and contributions to society. If there is anything this pandemic situation has taught us, it is this. We need to change our perspective in the way we view technical education and business. With the pandemic, we have seen systemic shifts where there were sudden and unexpected changes in the education system and subsequently the employment landscape. From this experience, we should build our capabilities and capacities and establish effective response mechanisms to address these disruptions. In unpacking the attitudes behind this misconception, it is important to address why there is such a thing in the first place. I think some of us are guilty with this. Filipinos are known for our insistence on professional titles. Our society is structured and programmed in such a way that we put a premium on and pay more respect to people who have many letters added to the end of their name. Sociologists have pointed out that this tendency says a lot about the culture that we live in. Social division and social inequality are manifested in speech. It is time to address social inequality and find ways to level the playing field. We must foster practices that bring us together rather than keep us apart. If you are still unsure of your importance and your potential contributions to society, think about this. You rushed to the hospital one evening and told that you will need emergency surgery in the next few hours, or else you may not live. The only doctor who knows how to perform the surgery is currently very far away and has to travel for a few hours. The doctor takes his car, a very expensive car that he was able to buy from his high salary as a doctor, and begins the drive from the faraway town to the hospital. Half an hour into this drive, something happens to his engine and his car stops on the highway. The doctor calls a local mechanic who rushes over and in a few minutes diagnoses and fixes the issue. The doctor makes it to the hospital and successfully performs the surgery. Now, let me ask you a question. Who do you think? Sino mo pasalamatan? Ang doktor o mekaniko? Wow, that's a very generous answer. Duwa sila, di ba? Who should you thank? The questions here are rhetorical. Ibig sabihin, rhetorical questions don't need an answer, or you don't really answer them, right? There isn't really a need to answer these questions. But we are all aware, in our internal biases, that if we were to respond to both questions, the answers would not be the same. My point is, a bright future is only possible if we work together. So like in this example, obviously the mechanic took a technical case, right? Probably STEM si doctor. But at the same time, in order for society to function, we need each other. We need to help each other. The challenge of nation building is participation. We participate by being the best at what we do. And this means that no matter what our contribution is to our society, we are critical to the success and survival of our nation. In this journey to a better tomorrow, my friends, you and I, we are the same. Every single one of us are pebbles that will create ripples and waves in our country's future. But that is if only our collective and shared impacts are felt. I am reminded of the story. I told this story yesterday, right? But I'm going to give it a different spin. I am reminded of the story that when the Asian financial crisis hit South Korea in 1997, the Korean government offered to buy gold from its citizens. So, grabe, guday-guday yung sitwasyon, there was poverty, people were hungry, and one way that the government of Korea thought that mabayaran nilang ilang utang, right? Gold was important so that South Korea had the money to pay its huge debt from the International Monetary Fund. But the Koreans, they did something extraordinary. Most of them saw a pressing need to help their country, and most of them gave up their gold for free. Dapat baklo to sa government, but they gave it willingly. They gave it away for free. Their wedding rings, their jewelry, each household donated. The rich ones contributed entire boxes of gold jewelry and precious stones. The poorer ones contributed small pieces of gold jewelry, mga bangian na nilang mga ritos, ang mga wala na tulong nilang mga ritos. Small rings with little value. But the most important morale of this story is everyone, rich and poor, contributed towards this effort. And in the end, the government was able to raise 225 tons of gold. 225 tons. This is a selfless act of volunteerism and patriotism, and look at Korea now. From poverty, they were able to raise the standards of living of every Korean, and the prosperity of Korea is now attributed in part to the huge sacrifice that was done by those who selflessly gave. Anyone who watches Korean drama will see that social inequality is still very much present in Korean society. But this divide between the rich and the poor is now significantly smaller than it was before. Now, Koreans have access to opportunities. They have access to mobility, and in turn, they have access to economic prosperity. Incidentally, technical and vocational education and training, as well as small-scale entrepreneurship and business, have been widely credited for effectively supporting the rapid economic growth of South Korea in the last 40 years. So I'm not saying that you should give up your personal belongings for the government. Don't go taking off your earrings now and giving it to the bank. I just hope that after today, you do everything for yourself, for your family, and for your country. Pay your taxes when you become citizens of this government. Do your work honestly and be a good neighbor. Even work for the government and help in nation building, because our country needs you. May your inspiration for doing things that you are destined to do be your family, who I am certain is very proud of you and your achievement today. This commencement is about them too. They worked hard and sacrificed a lot of things to put you first. And at this point, please indulge me once again, kindly stand up, and let us give your folks a big round of applause. They are right in the left or in the right of this area. Thank you. You may resume your seats, please. Now, back to my earlier story of why being unconventional is also a good thing. I am not usually to talk about my own achievements, but I think this is an opportunity to step up to my responsibility as your commencement speaker and give justice to the task that I was given today. After all, if our wise and discerning teachers picked me to speak to you today, it must be because they saw something in me that made them think, yeah, this guy is still a weirdo, but he will go places. In the same way that Miss Batislawans prophesied a bright future for me after not judging me for my quirks and my unconventional ways of thinking, in the same way that Miss Juanita Gallego put my name on the short list of students who will be interviewed for the American Field Service Scholarship in the United States of America that changed my life when I was 16. This was despite the fact that I wasn't even in the top 10 of my class. I was just really talkative and outspoken, and she had this firm belief that these were the qualities of a good student ambassador. And in the same way that Ma'am Terora has always been very patient to me, it didn't pay off, of course, because I'm still really terrible at math, but she did try. And in the same way that Ma'am Abanales and Ma'am Reyes gave me the tools that I need to write with impact and with conviction, that I now help write important and historical speeches for the Secretary of Foreign Affairs and even for the President of the Philippines. I don't think I have actually said it out loud before, and in gratitude for the wonderful lessons that you have taught us along the way, may I kindly request again that I be joined by the graduating class of 2022 in this tribute. Graduates, please stand up and give a big round of applause to our faculty and staff. Thank you. Take your seat. Being unconventional and different from the rest often presents difficulties, but with a changed mindset about being accepting of diversity, we will realize that being different is a source of new insights and ideas. Having a different take on things enriches the conversation and brings new ideas and innovations to the table. My dear graduates, in your journey towards claiming your uniqueness and your individualism, please embrace mentors who will be there with you to guide you and to cheer you on. Our theme emphasizes having a dream and facing adversity with resilience and strength of character. I was very lucky to have friends, family, and teachers who gave me their wholehearted support. But kids, the harsh reality of graduating from high school is more likely than not, after today, you will be on your own. You will now be forced to sink or swim. And when you no longer have a support system egging you on, encouraging you and cheering for you at the finish line, I hope that you find the resilience and the courage in you to do it for yourself. Therefore, my friends, you need to give yourself permission to root for yourself, to cheer for yourself, and while you're at it, cheer for those around you. Help each other and love one another. Be kind. Even amidst conflict and differences, be kind. Even if the world does not believe in you, prove them wrong, and yet be kind. Even if the world does not appreciate the little and the big things that you do, be kind. Again, the world is full of harsh voices that tell you that you cannot do something. The least you can do, especially to yourself, is to be kind. One of my favorite self-help techniques is what we call daily affirmations. It is when you tell yourself that you are worth it, you are beautiful, you are strong, etc. And having a mantra or an affirmation is productive because the more you tell yourself something, the more you believe it. And the more that you believe it, the more you will manifest something into existence. Practice this when you get home and when you wake up every morning. Tell yourself our keywords, and when you're feeling like you have lost your dreams and ambition, think about this day, your graduation day, 2nd July 2022. Tell yourself the keywords and repeat to yourself. Please repeat this after me. I have a dream. Let's try that again a little louder. I have a dream. I am bigger than adversity. I am resilient. What are those three again? Number one, I have a dream. I am bigger than adversity, and I am resilient. Class, before I wrap up, I want you once again, for the final time, to get on your feet. Look to your left and to your right. In front of you, please stand up. And tell yourself and your friends, pat them a social distance congratulations, and say, we did it. A little louder. We did it. We did it. Graduating class of 2022, I wish you all the very best. Congratulations to the Negros Occidental High School batch of 2023. You may sit down.
Thank you so much, Mr. Danito Cabrera, Jr., for the impactful message to our graduates.
At this time, we request once again our guest speaker to please come on stage for the giving of the plaque of recognition. And we request once again our principal, Ma'am Josette Esterora, and our dear assistant school principals to please present the plaque of recognition to our guest speaker. And the plaque reads, Republic of the Philippines Department of Education, Region 6, Western Visayas, Division of Negros Occidental, Negros Occidental High School, Bacolod City. In continuing its 120th year of nurturing the legacy of cultural excellence, Negros Occidental High School presents this plaque of recognition to Nanico S. Cabrera Jr., Class 2008, whose noteworthy presence as commencement speaker infused inspiration and whose shared experiences fortified the quest for excellence of Batch 2022 during the 109th graduation ceremony. Given this first day of July 2020, second day of July 2022, Bacolod City, Negros Occidental, Philippines. Signed by the Principal 4 of NOHS, Joseph S. Terora, PhD.
Now let's listen to the message of FX Secretary Leonor M. Briones to be read by the Assistant School Principal to Junior High School Academics, Ma'am Milagros O. Abanales.
A pleasant afternoon to one and all. This is the message of our Department of Education Secretary, Leonor Magtoles Briones, and it reads, my warmest greetings to the school officials, administrators, faculty members and advisors, teachers, parents, guardians of the graduates of school year 2021-2022. On behalf of the Department of Education, or DepEd, I am proud to celebrate the successes milestones, and achievements of these graduates in this year's end their school year rise with the theme K-12 graduates, pursuing dreams and fostering resilience in the face of adversity. In the past 6 years, we committed to our mandate to enhance the quality of education, broaden its access, and ensure its relevance in the rapidly changing world. DepEd endeavored to address each challenge by instituting programs and reforms in the department. We have fully implemented the K-12 curriculum and the aggressive reforms of Sulong Ilokalida to produce globally competitive learners and teachers. We also expanded our mission for accessible education by strengthening the Alternative Learning System, or ALS, and the Last Mile Schools programs to reach more Filipinos. Likewise, we also established the National Academy of Sports and AS, and Education Futures unit to create more opportunities for our learners and anticipate the future of the education system in the country. Committed to sustaining this momentum, the department developed and implemented the Basic Education Learning Continuity Program, or the BELCP, where we offered various learning modalities and produced award-winning initiatives such as DepEd TV and DepEd Commons at the height of the pandemic. Eventually, the department held its ground against an unprecedented challenge in basic education as we progressively expand the reintroduction of face-to-face classes in the country. Indeed, education is truly a shared responsibility. This is why we express our utmost appreciation to our dear parents and teachers for being our partners in nurturing the youth throughout the years. To the class of 2022, resilience is in your blood. You have survived one of the toughest times in human history. Yet, still embrace education as your primary tool to success. I believe that with your passion and purpose, you can reach your dreams and change the world. May you keep on harnessing and imparting wisdom, as together we will build a nation of competent global citizens and future leaders. Again, to the class of 2022, congratulations and Godspeed. Your DepEd Secretary, Leonor Montoles Briones. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Milagros Sabanales, for reading the message of our DepEd Secretary, Ma'am Leonor M. Briones. Now, it's time for the graduates to hold the tangible proof of their hard work. Let's witness the distribution of diplomas to batch 2022. This will be assisted by their respective class advisors.
Academic track, accountancy, business, and management.
Grade 12, ABN Compassion. John Michael O. Anaga, with high honors. Neil Jacob B. Catalvas, with high honors. John Mark A. Sinada, with honors. Jude Patrick G. Imaraman. Jeremy Shane T. Guillen, with honors. Earl John A. Laguna, with high honors. Joshua Angelo B. Mijares. Dan Gabriel D. Morancil, with high honors. Philip John S. Villar, with high honors. Ronald Jr. M. Zambrano, with high honors. Bernie G. Villas, with high honors. Jermaine F. Abelo, with honors. Karel Wayne M. Anuma, with high honors.
Rose T. Castaneda, Jessica A. Larlag, Rizabel Eunice A. Danang, with high honors. Josephine E. Galarmente, Ariel Shane Q. Diel, with honors. Alexandria T. Divino, Christine J. Esmedari, with high honors. Bennett Jillian B. Fabregas, with high honors. Anne-Marie D. Gana, with high honors. Lara Grace H. Garcia, with high honors. Risa May S. Guiman, with highest honors. Lalaine M. Grijaldo, Cherie A. Haruma, with honors. Patricia Ann Yu Lama, with high honors. Sophia Lexi V. Lucero, Kayla B. Manaan, Cassandra Yuri E. Nashon, with high honors. Janelle S. Newell, with high honors. Patricia Ann G. Ovas, with high honors. Kathleen N. Pavel, with high honors. Colleen A. Ranisa, with honors. April Grace Z. Lucas, with high honors. Marby G. Robica, with high honors. Erica R. Sago, with highest honors. Ella Faye E. Sofia, with honors. Shane Althea M. Sormana, Ariel P. Akata, with honors. Jenny Rose R. Tobisha, with high honors. Andrea Bale J. Tora, with honors. Jeremy A. Villar, with honors. Together with their advisor, Mrs. Rizalyn May G. Mendoza. Grade 12 ABM Fidelity, Miles Robert C. Castillo, Steve L. Coniendo, Neil Adrian E. Cordova, Edgy R. Enriquez, Chuichi España, John Oscar P. Flaviano, Gino G. Pumaya, with high honors. Roy Joseph E. Limson, Stewart Robert G. Lisua, with honors. Cyrus Neil A. Mansha, with high honors. Isaiah S. Alonso, with high honors. Jessica B. Amaden, with honors. Danica O. Bakuya, with high honors. Preston A. Jesus with high honors. Jennifer B. De La Serna with honors. Carly B. Tomate with honors. Sherette Faye E. Mondales with honors. Kiana Marie J. Gigante with honors. Maria Teresa S. Gomez with high honors. Alvin Dayan E. Gonzaga with honors. Marielle A. Guardario. Curly Marie L. Kugua with honors. Aya Giuseppe Leita with honors. President B. Lin with honors. Shane Denise Ryan Lopez with high honors. Marvelyn A. Hidalgo with honors. Darlene L. Rishon with honors. Marvin M. Margo with honors. Christine Denise C. Nunez with high honors. Cristel M. Delora. Maria Alisa M. Pomada with high honors. Daniela M. Cornez. Starlene E. Rudel with honors. Rhoda Grace E. Santiago. Angela K. G. Santiago with honors. Jerry's Angel C. Sabiwalo with high honors. Jonathan Grace B. Ihune with high honors. Angie Bocero with high honors. Linnell B. Orsis with high honors. Christine Mata O. Viniegas with high honors. Chanel T. Yanson with high honors. Trixie D. Zamora with honors. Class advisor, Julie Ann B. Ali Garbets.
Grade 12 ABM Generosity. Leonard M. Antimo. Matthew B. Garces with high honors. Kenneth John A. Guardario. William B. Jaime Jr. Matthew Lawrence J. Lagayo with high honors. Clint Jason S. Marande with honors. Lawrence A. Kalimbe with honors. Jeremy V. Roquero. Eugene C. Ciscar Jr. Leo Vincent W. Pinoza with honors. Maria Kathleen Jane C. Alincana with high honors. Krista Ann Aridonia with high honors. Laika L. Arnelius with high honors. Jezebel S. Banis. Melvin John C. Bayamon with honors. Janine C. Fetevella with honors. Leila Bern Marie P. Gamboa with high honors. Rika May D. Gayamilo with high honors. Anna F. Dumban with honors. Sheila Marie B. Agosayan with honors. Mary Rose P. Labrador with honors. Rhea G. Larita with honors. Brenda May S. Maniswa with high honors. Nicole P. Martinez with high honors. Elsa Joy B. Montaño with high honors. Miguel Therese M. Mejia with high honors. Anne-Marie S. Oracue with high honors. Audrey Joyce J. Pananigan with high honors. Stephanie Peralta with high honors. Trisha Marie D. Pastrana with honors. Letty's E. Quinal with high honors. Julie Ann D. Reyes with honors. Bianca Nicole Rochelle with honors. Yala Marie D. Sarmiento with high honors. Angelica J. Suelo with high honors. Pamela Jean G. Tambuo with high honors. Colleen Regina B. Tomaro with highest honors. Sheila A. Bahiligan with honors. Andrea B. Villanueva with high honors. Angel B. Yap with high honors. Class advisor, Ms. Nifa M. Bilbao. ABM Nicholas. James Jerome H. Aniban with honors. Sanel Ebner B. Cabalcar with high honors. Crisanto L. Claude. Giro S. Danieles. Or A. Flores with honors. Raynel S. Grapa. Jacob J. Cor with honors. Lance David G. Magbanwa with honors. J.P. Olara with honors. Sherman John D. Rojo with high honors. Daniel M. Santiago with honors. Ashley Yvonne Allegro with honors. Kate G. Ambiente with honors. Marie Leo Gagatoro. Julia D. Bailon with honors. Sunbeam M. Berlin with high honors. Sharina J. D. Bombais with honors. Rachel Joy C. Canoy with high honors. Len Clarice I. Catalunya with honors. Via F. Condex with honors. Princess Novis R. Desena. Josephine R. Demandante with high honors. Maria Cristina M. Dorone with honors. Rose Ann M. Eren with high honors. Bella L. Espuerta with honors. Selena S. Flores with honors. Dwayne Lialaita P. Garnado with high honors. Mary Ann A. Gumata. Darling Joy C. Torres with honors. Grisela G. Gustado with honors. Lorima A. Lampo with honors. Shavina S. Maghali with honors. Asnia M. Mariga with high honors. Marian Nicole M. Mandia with honors. Kate Audrey Memenzo with high honors. Georgie R. Onlaya with high honors. Josel Ivy S. Pamilanco with high honors. Ayalvi Marie S. Penario with high honors. Daniela E. Portil with high honors. Andre Isabel M. Possession with high honors. Aya Isabel J. Providencia with high honors. Patricia N. M. Rejo. Rachel Ann B. Rosal with honors. Keziah N. Sanchez with high honors. Junaira M. Suwaid with high honors. Viva F. Tamayo with honors. Trisha Joy G. Intiman with high honors. Shane E. Puya with honors. Jana Gracie F. Bailan with high honors. Lexel E. Villanueva. Class Advisors, Mr. Alan M. Benaventura. Rachel ADM Providence. Jerome B. Agadula with honors. Inmas C. Asuna with high honors. Robin D. Castro with honors. Mark Harold D. Flores. Archie B. Garcia. Christian Andre B. Gubarra with high honors. Shane Ernestine H. Lapola with high honors. Samuel Angelo B. Mateos. Carl Stephen Marie M. Pavilion. Axel T. Savillon. Martin C. Soliva with high honors. Rainiel T. Tobias with high honors. Sandara Hart D. Abatayo. Alicia May I. Amorosa. Amira P. Aceral with honors. Joel P. John Jonah with high honors. Tahasha Faith Benalina with honors. Arabella L. Beroncal with honors. Mel William Les E. Caballo with high honors. Cristel Shine P. Carillo with high honors. Danny Ann Marie V. Chavez with high honors. Renee May D. Cuesta with high honors. Adrian Zoe V. Della Pena. Angelique S. Disability. Anna Beatrice A. Duba with high honors. Arabella B. Esposora with high honors. Teresa J. Eusebio with honors. Isaiah Janelle S. Fuentes with honors. Hazel V. Garcia with honors. Trisha L. Daniel with high honors. Farah Angelo M. Haralpio with high honors. Melissa H. Javier. Irene C. Lacabe with high honors. And Francine P. Laura with high honors. Ivy B. Mann with honors. Alisa Joanna B. Matutina with high honors. Menzel T. Rueda with high honors. Cristel P. Nombre with high honors. Rachel Andrea N. Oregina with high honors. Queen Aphrodite Paulino with honors. Ligan Mitch M. Postrero with high honors. Dustin Ann A. Ramos with honors. Cherry D. Rivera. Divine Grace M. Sacanla. Mikhaila G. Cervantes with high honors. Cecil Rose S. Tacanor with high honors. Ghislaine Rizal Ann Tayo. Rachel M. Corbella with high honors. Zyrgate P. Vertugazo with high honors. Leader Advisor, Mr. Paul Andro P. Roberto. Grade 12 ABM Sincerity. Joel John M. Amparo with high honors. John Dox Williams with honors. John Leonard M. Pereira with honors. Adrian M. Sangilan, Axel F. Tama with high honors. Maria Johanna Beatriz E. Asibucha with high honors. Jan Rose C. Apaso with high honors. Erica E. Atienza with honors. Mia Andre A. Barrera with high honors. Jill Marie Biran with high honors. May Kyla M. Moholano with high honors. Valerie B. Kabubuas with honors. Genevieve Marie P. Castaneda with high honors. Angel Camila A. Claver with honors. Welrose D. Diasis with honors. Camille A. Delgado. Elisha May P. Diola with high honors. Ruby Ann M. Duro with high honors. Gracelyn M. Espanueva. Angel May E. Federizo with high honors. Jane Y. Gala. Carla May C. Garcia with high honors. Debbie Marie G. Gila with high honors. Winabel S. Ilay with high honors. Cassandra J. Uguan with honors. Eliza B. Lames with honors. Carly Joey E. Macariola with high honors. Roslyn B. Mahilo with honors. Arabella Mundihar with high honors. Althea Laika M. Navarro with high honors. Nicole A. Oliver with high honors. Juvel M. Padilla with honors. Francine Jewel A. Lumeras with high honors. Friza Colleen Y. Primavera with honors. Early R. Rigole with high honors. R.B. M. Rodrigo. Chrissy Erica A. Salao with honors. Stephanie P. Suarez. Ariana Marie M. Subaldo with honors. Cherlyn Catherine C. Tamares with high honors. Stephanie Joy M. Dixon with high honors. Frances Diane J. Toricampo with high honors. Kyla T. Villagracia with honors. Angel Francine A. Villanueva with high honors. Kimberly S. Yap. Yes, advisor, Mrs. Brenda S. Moon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Technical Vocational Livelihood Track. Industrial Arts Track with specialization in automotive servicing. Automotive servicing or learning. Alvin P. Abo. Benson M. Quadra with honors. Archie C. De La Torre. David Ivor D. Depot. Ryan D. Franco. J. Mark D. Jimenez. Jefferson P. Jimenez. Christian Louis D. Lamia. Jasper Leones. John Free Mesa. John Noel G. Mones. Orlando Jr. P. Ordaz. John Albert P. Padilla. Randy L. Panes. John Martin M. Paredes. Gerwin R. Padilla with honors. Jeremiah B. Pendon. Geoffrey C. Plaida. Kevin Dave M. Pojol. John Michael Ouramoco. Brandon G. Sabillo. Gabby Charles D. Sablon. Christian Mark D. Sapua with honors. Doc John Paul D. Saraga. Pablo J. Lawrence D. Singina. John Matthew L. Tedoso. Brian Cornelia. Christian E. Torres. John Ariel L. Calidor. Maxine Kalubaki. Trisha Marie H. Casas with high honors. Danica V. Escantelia. Angel Hart D. Kumaya. Class Advisor, Mr. Irene Ayan D. Rollo.
Grade 12 Automotive Respect. Jerson Dan Arias. Bernardo Jr. G. Alimon. Danny Phil M. Alohan. John Ray L. Amarilla. Neil Colin M. Anilado. John Will S. Astorga. Chris G. Valladares with honors. Melvin G. Maracena with honors. Kenneth John G. Bayan. Lane Hans L. Lucas. Franklin Jr. B. Caceres. Nicomedes III. B. Caniena. Danielle Louis M. Cardenas with honors. Vin Jason D. Carmona. Michael James Delgado. Deji Ivan D. Ingrena. Jordi L. Icones. Columbus. Ezekiel Jude S. Rattle. Marvin M. Hermosa with honors. Sylvan P. Inocencio with honors. Neil John G. Juaniza. Asa Sean D. Labis with honors. Nicole E. Lacorte. Leonard James L. Rivita with honors. Andy Angela M. Long with high honors. Christian B. Riasas. Christian M. Rongati with honors. John Paul A. Mosquito. John Vincent M. Ramon with high honors. Rachel P. Papa. Patrick Narciso L. Martin. John L. Pinasol. Nicole L. Pinasol with high honors. John Mark E. Montero. Joseph A. Vasquez. Kyle Lawrence E. Vasquez. Christian Lyle O. Viniegas with honors. Jose Manuel O. Verdadero with honors. Carl R. Villabero. Samantha Nicole A. Arellano with honors. Alsa Gustavo J. Aristado. Christian Harold J. Adams. Risa May E. Benedicto with honors. Alea Chanel J. L. Villalobos. Classified Mrs. Mara M. Villas.
Rachel Contact Center Services. Renard Clark A. Davis with honors. Iman John Garrigas. Bert Lawrence O. Gonzalez. Janisha Junior T. Mahusan. Stephen John Solisa. Charles R. Yellow with honors. Julia Alexandria M. Bombay with honors. Renalyn B. Cabrera with honors. Jeremy L. Cordero with high honors. Kathleen Joy D. Janisha with honors. Jessica S. Fortaleza. Paula May S. Hapitana. Christine M. Mati. Marijo G. Canela with honors. Arwen M. Pavilion with honors. Miralyn B. Torres with honors. Juliana G. Salvador with honors. Joan S. Tiglao with honors. Alpeline J. Tubas with honors. Winner Advisor Mrs. Rosana B. Tassi.
honors. Manuel Jr. A. Colorado with high honors. Guillier B. Comiendo. Kyle Owen Q. Johnson. I and Paul R. Estrella with honors. Ryan P. Pasinaba. Jordan Ray A. Gaito. Rene Olivier Jr. B. Inventor with honors. Mark Josh C. Alandon with honors. John Gabriel A. Hugo. John P. Lorenzo. Abner Jr. M. Masitas with high honors. Julian G. Martir with high honors. Daniel B. Derrick with high honors. Reynold A. Pasini. Elmer L. Perez. Christopher Q. Perwell. Joshua Espinosa with honors. Edsels John B. Robles. Urban Ray Gerald T. Rodrigazo. Andre Miguel Sabio. J. N. Sejolano. Gian N. Villa Espi. Jaja Amigo. Arila May P. Amide with honors. Crystal Marie S. Argelius with high honors. Ariane S. Barajas with high honors. April and May Calixto. Recame A. Cordero with honors. Raynette A. De La Torre with honors. Julian C. Gamba. Angelica M. Ansha. Wrestling. J. Gonzalez with high honors. Lenny May J. Lucasina with high honors. Marielle Feliz R. Yoga with high honors. Eunice L. Moncal with high honors. Andrea Nicole U. Ollaras with high honors. Vivienne S. Prietos with honors. Michael E. Suarez with honors. Mika E. Villanueva. Class advisor, Mr. Adriano P. Neves III.
Grade 12 CSS Grades. Jumil R. Balintawalo with honors. John Clement D. Banaga with high honors. John R.V.G. Paterno with high honors. Brian John D. Benjamin with honors. Daniel Noah V. Villanes with high honors. John Kenneth Bituo with high honors. John Milbert
M. Lansing. Sean Rainier S. Capara, with honors. John Nikhil Gabriel L. Silino. John Michael M. Senis. Keanu Alexis B. Senis. Ezekiel John B. David, with honors. Kurt Russell C. Basilio, with high honors. Faith Julian D. Divina Gracia, with honors. Mark Paul Emperado. Lay Ivan R. Milicanao, with high honors. Godwin S. Gikeliana, with honors. John Ray U. Goria. Carl E. Laneres, with high honors. Francis Earl A. Lapini, with honors. Jit D. Lebrando, with honors. Kim Emerson P. Viera, with high honors. Jackson P. Manunas. J-Mar Amiel D. Narazo, with honors. Kurt Luis C. Odom, with honors. John Carlo G. Abianian, with honors. Andy Panayakay, with honors. Rafael A. Pasante, with honors. John Mark A. Redden. Aldrich Josh B. Tacuba. Christopher T. Tamayo, with high honors. Romar P. Ticala, with honors. Lawrence S. Udin. Kathleen Joy A. Barrios, with high honors. Carla May Cabugnason, with honors. Laika Nicole S. Caparo, with honors. Rhea May B. Cordova, with high honors. Christine Jacarna C. Quadra, with honors. Keisha Lorraine R. Lamine. Jackie A. Lapine, with honors. Charisse Jane R. Manalo, with high honors. Nikki M. Mercurio, with high honors. Jennifer V. Musinde, with honors. Zyril L. Muya. Jennifer E. Ortigue, with honors. Janelle D. Ramirez, with honors. Eljoy M. Robles. Class Advisor, Ms. Jinky Cervantes. Home Economics Trend with specialization in cookery, food and beverage services, and bread and pastry production. HB Benevolence. Raynold M. Aliosa. Rayniel M. Ano. Ryan B. Carvilledo with honors. Joshua M. Undangan with honors. Oscar H. Gabriel with high honors. Paul Jr. C. Espada with honors. Gabriel B. Getiliano with honors. Lexis E. Gotero. Seth Lawrence L. Pasiola. Harvey Jen C. Aberia with high honors. Joy A. Barredo. Dolly A. B. Belnas with high honors. Danica H. Carvajosa with honors. Trisha T. Cardona with high honors. Maria Bernice C. Cascato with honors. Mary Chris C. Castro with high honors. Angel A. Comandante with high honors. Claire C. Diaz with honors. Maria Pinky P. Espanola with high honors. Bea Vivian S. Gonzalez. Kailin May D. Liboa with honors. Mary Joy O. Mahilo. Rose G. Makiling with honors. Miles C. Marcelo. Sofia M. Clementia. Sterling Marie B. Oberiano. Adriana Beatriz P. Opina with honors. Julian C. Patelio with honors. Princess V. Pineda. Friends C. Flaida with honors. Janet V. Cositos with high honors. Wings Joyce R. Robles with honors. Daniela G. Tejana with honors. Venus D. Torrecario with high honors. Joanna Villarin with honors. Class Advisor, Ma'am Mary Grace Mamare.
Grade 12, H.E. Facility. Alexandre Abrigo. Devin J. L. Belando with honors. John Carl D. Bellota with honors. William Jr. H. Chang with high honors. Mark Angelo L. Gordon. Arlie J. Kimba with high honors. Nick Van Excel V. Tagluco. Lord Mackenzie C. Yanko with honors. Sadie E. Aldo with honors. Julie T. Alegre with honors. Evelyn T. Bingon with high honors. Christian Cole T. Cano with high honors.
with high honors. Eden B. Velasquez with honors. Juliana Elise F. Gonzalez. Meryl R. Gordo. Julia E. Hiroki with honors. Crystal Glenn T. Masarte with honors. Alea Joy G. Monteposo with honors. Mary Maureen Fritz P. Breton with high honors. Heaven Marie C. Ogan with high honors. Roxanne P. Salili. Hazel Ann M. Samiliano with high honors. Samantha Nitze R. Sedugo. Johanna G. Selisaban with honors. Sofia Binet C. Solatorio. Noel May M. Dundag. Casey Nicole Joey M. O. Annie A. Victoriano. Caroline D. Villarreal with high honors. Diana Nicole A. Iliano with high honors. With their advisor, Mr. Herman Clanmore J. Segovia.
Grade 12 H.E. Politeness. Philip Andre A. Agaton with high honors. Noel S. Magayo with honors. Roland T. Baligua. Jim Daniel C. Barok. Angelo G. De la Costa. Biruford M. Estrella with honors. Hajime D. Gustino. Rico Jr. D. Ola. Ramon Miguel L. Viniegas with honors. Jolina G. Almario. Alex Shine E. Alvarito. Almira C. Atlaon with honors. Ivy T. Bayon with honors. Colleen D. Castillo with high honors. Eileen Castro. Morjoy E. Dadivas. Erica Gail E. Desni. Arjun S. Negroso with high honors. Paula M. Flores. Kyla E. Garcia with honors. Azel V. Gomban. Christine Ann G. Jimenez with high honors. Gianna May R. Madera with high honors. Isabel Angela N. Morales with high honors. Daniela N. Abilona Elaine B. Salgado with high honors. Maribel S. Ibañez. Realiza O. Silobo. Irish D. Silva. Princess Joyce S. Raza with honors. Christine Les Villanueva. With our class advisor, Miss Amanda P. Serranos.
Once again, congratulations, graduates. Graduations and Batch 2022 would like to thank our partner institution, Riverside College Incorporated.
We will now witness the graduates lead their class pledge to their alma mater to be led by Pauline Regina V. Tomaro and Isabel Angela N. Moralde.
Mamel. Ready.
Dear graduates, please stand. Raise your right hand and repeat after us. Before God Almighty, and my fellow graduates to bear witness, I do solemnly swear full loyalty and allegiance to the Constitution of the Philippines and to laws and lawful orders of my superiors at home, in school, and in the community wherever I may be. Faith in the cause and ideals of liberty. With the duty imposed on my part to contribute all that I can do in supporting the government policy and emphasizing values in education. As identity as a Filipino, in my attitude and behavior, for the general welfare of my fellow Negrense and countrymen, and for the greater glory of God and my alma mater. So help me God.
Now, to induct the new members of the NOHS Alumni Association Incorporated, please welcome on stage, on behalf of the Nohs President, Mr. Serafin Plotria, member of the BOD of NOHS Alumni Association Incorporated.
Good evening, graduates. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, please state your name. Having been admitted as a member of the Negros Occidental High School Alumni Association Incorporated, do hereby solemnly swear that I will faithfully abide and adhere to its rules and regulations, observe and enhance its prestige, subscribe, defend, and support its constitution and bylaws, and that I voluntarily impose this obligation upon myself without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations and welcome to Negros Occidental High School Alumni Association.
Thank you, Mr. Montreal. For every graduate has something to thank for. Yet, this evening, we have one to express our gratitude on behalf of the Batch 2022. Let's listen to Erica R. Sago for her words of gratitude.
To our beloved principal, Ma'am Gisette Esperora, to our assistant principal for junior high school, Ma'am Milagros Abanales, to our assistant principal for operations, Sir Jesus Chavez, to our senior high school assistant principal 2 for academics, Ma'am Donna Belia O. Posada, to the DepEd representative, Sir Severino O. Obelay Jr., to our guest speaker, Sir Nunito S. Cabrera Jr., to the DepEd representative, teachers and staff, family, friends, fellow graduates, a pleasant evening to all of you. Our hearts are so full right now for this very opportunity to have our most awaited graduation. We never thought we could still celebrate this momentous occasion in a face-to-face manner. Our batch has missed the face-to-face completion back when we were in grade 10 due to the threats of the COVID-19 pandemic. But here we are right now, all gleaming with gladness as we finally met our teachers and classmates whom we only knew and met online. Thanks to technology for that. It's been quite a while that this foreground were emptied with students who were frantically and endlessly laughing around and in every corner, enjoying their so-called high school life. That was replaced with silence, fear, anxieties brought by the pandemic. Nevertheless, we are still a lot grateful for surviving such ordeal in our lives. I could say, therefore, that our batch, Senior High School Class 2021-2022, are indeed survivors of the new normal. We were challenged, but we emerged victorious after a roller coaster ride in the new normal in the Philippine education. From week-long quarantines to distance learning, mass classes to countless pending Google Classroom assignments and numerous other things, I cannot thank God enough for letting us endure this unprecedented time. Alfred North Whitehead once said, "No one achieves success that's so without acknowledging the help of others. The wise and confident acknowledge this help with gratitude. Likewise, we will not be able to accomplish and give credit to ourselves without the people behind our success." On behalf of the graduating class of Senior High School 2021-2022, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to our beloved alma mater, Negros Occidental High School, foremost to our school's principal, Ma'am Gisette Esperora, Senior High School Assistant Principal 2 for Academics, Ma'am Donna Belia O. Posada, and members of the administration and faculty, especially the Senior High School Department, who truly helped us to harvest the fruits of our endeavor. Thank you for shaping us and teaching us the innovation lessons we need as we enter a new phase in our lives. I would also like to thank my friends and churchmates for being with me through my ups and downs. Without them, I surely wouldn't be able to enjoy my remaining years in senior high school. And of course, I would like to acknowledge my family, especially my Lola, Lolo, cousin Ate Annalyn and Atan for supporting me morally and financially. Even though life is difficult, the love that they all show me inspires and motivates me to keep going and strive even harder. My love for them will never fade, and rest assured that I will fulfill my promises. Finally, no words could describe my gratitude to our Almighty God, the one who is above us all, for hearing my prayers and giving me strength whenever I feel unwanted, worthless, and frustrated. All that I have now and will achieve in the future is because of Him. I cannot tell you how blessed I am and how much I appreciate this face-to-face graduation with all of you. I am proud to say that I am an Nohsian and will always be. To batch 2021-2022, congratulations! We made it! Let us always aim high and dream big. Thank you.
You are always welcome, Erica Sago. Now, at this juncture, we shall listen to the graduates as they sing their graduation song, Nohs Forever Your Mind Home, to be led by Renee D. Cuesta.
Fellow graduates, let us all stand up, for we will sing our graduation song.
Thank you, Renee. For the next part, May we call on stage Alpilin J. Dupas to lead the singing of the Alma Mater song. Senior high school graduates, this is the last time we'll sing the Alma Mater while in school uniform. Sing with all your might.
Graduates, let us sing our alma mater song.
On behalf of the school's administrative staff and faculty, we joyfully congratulate the batch 2022 graduates. We sincerely thank our partner institution, Riverside College Incorporated, all the working force, those who helped and supported us, and all our guests who attended this monumental event. Saliwat, madamong igmang salamat. This is the 109th graduation ceremony of Negros Occidental High School. To God alone be the glory. For the last time, a round of applause as we witness the reception. Ladies and gentlemen, our dear principal, Ma'am Josette Esteron.